No, Tahawwur Rana was an associate of David Coleman Hadley, who played a much more significant role in the 26/11 attacks. Tahawwur Rana was the person who set up the immigration office in Mumbai, in which David Coleman Hadley was given the job, and he then got a visa to come to India and be part of that immigration office. That cover which was provided was done by Tahawwur Rana. So I think he and David Coleman Hadley were very close, and therefore they must have known what was happening. So that is something which his interrogation in India will bring that out, what he knew and what David Coleman Hadley had told him. Yeah, that link is already established through the NIA investigation, and we had the other accused who were there in Pakistan, against whom warrants have been issued but not executed by Pakistan. So that link was very clearly established initially by some cooperation from the Pakistan, their equivalent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, like our CBI. But subsequently, Pakistan has been stonewalling the entire investigation. They've not either tried them in Pakistan, and they've not handed them over to us for trial in India. So Tahawwur Rana was a Canadian, Pakistan, American, sort of dual citizenship person who actually provided the cover for David Coleman Hadley. And to an extent, we think that he knew also, but he is not the director, the person who did all the survey of the sites, the Taj Hotel, the place where the boat would land, where the terrorists would land. All that was done by David Coleman Hadley, and he was the one who came to India, and from India went to Pakistan and shared all that information. So, but Tahawwur Rana will definitely, as a co-conspirator, he will get convicted in India and possibly may get a jail sentence for, I don't know how much, maybe 10 years or more. See, it would have been extremely useful for us if David Coleman Hadley had been handed to us, because he was the person who not only did all the surveillance and recce within India, he is the one who also went to Pakistan and with Saeed and other people, including in the Pak ISI, he was the one who was in touch with all of them. So if they had handed him over to us, it would have been a big advantage for us, and we would have got far more details about the entire conspiracy. But he struck a plea bargain with the United States, in which they agreed that they would not extradite him to India. So he was actually a double agent of the United States. So he was working for the United States also, and while also working with the terrorist groups in Pakistan and the ISI. So I think the Americans didn't want him to be exposed, and that is why they struck this plea bargain with him, whereby they said that we will not have you extradited to India, provided you cooperate with us. So I'm quite disappointed with the United States that they allowed this plea bargain, because if it was a terrorist in India who had committed an attack on the American soil, I'm sure the Americans would not take plea. If India had allowed a plea bargain and said that that terrorist would not be allowed to come to America. So I think they protected their interest, not looking after India's interests. We've already questioned Hadley. If Tahawwur Rana's interrogation provides additional information, I'm sure that we can make a request to the United States to again have a further interrogation of Headley. Headley is supposed to be in a prison in Los Angeles. So he is available. So it is possible for us to also interrogate him. So let us see what happens with what additional information that Tahawwur Rana will give us. And that it will depend on that, whether we need to, because we have already interrogated David Headley, even though it was under supervision of the US agencies. But if Tahawwur Rana gives us more information or provides more evidence of Headley's role, etc., we can go back and question him again on these to verify some of them. The matter is before the court, so you have to produce the evidence. I think there is enough evidence of Rana's complicity, both in setting up the agency which gave the cover for David Headley. There's correspondence of between him, that tape recorded messages between him and Headley. So I think there is enough evidence if produced before the court for the court to be convinced that he was in the know of that something was happening. And he is therefore, in one sense, a co-conspirator. So it all depends finally on the evidence that the NIA will produce before the court when they file the charge sheet. Well, as far as David Headley was concerned, we could not extradite him because of the US agencies have already entered into the plea bargain with Headley, saying that he would not be extradited to India. So that agreement between the government and Headley had already been done, and that was done by the United States agencies without informing us or consulting with us. So, but so far as Tahawwur Rana is concerned, his case for extradition has been pending for a long time, and it was only when in that Danish case that Headley was also involved that the whole issue blew up. So there's a long, detailed process in terms of getting the extradition done. And Rana has exhausted all his remedies up to the United States Supreme Court. And today he is in India. So we hope that the trial will take place as quickly as possible. And one more person who was a co-conspirator will get sentenced to imprisonment in India. No, what it means, what we have learned, of course, is that eternal vigilance is a price for against terrorist attacks. You have to be vigilant. You have to keep your intelligence agencies on alert all the time, because we have hostile neighbors who are willing to, support terrorism, and we can't let down our guard at all. I think that is the one particular lesson that we have learned, that I think we have learned that the terrorists can come in different guises. We never would have suspected Headley with an American passport, with very fair skin and green eyes, who looked completely like a white man, and with the American agencies also giving him a passport which did not show his father's name, because that would have at least alerted us that he is of Pakistani origin. They only gave his mother, who was a US citizen, her name was there in the passport. So we have learned, and we have made some changes to the way in which the surveillance is done now, both of passports as well as foreign travelers coming into and out of India. So let us see. We have now, in the last few years, we've managed to avoid major attacks, but we have to be alert all the time.